Hi, I'm Shelley Weber-Tompkins, and I'm here to talk to you today about how PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, can impact fertility and a lot of times cause pain. So you're not sure if it's just a PMS type of thing of having cramping, or if you actually could have an issue with PCOS. Now, some of you watching might already know that you have PCOS, and this is still for you. It's for anyone who's not sure of inflammatory processes that are happening reproductively that are causing them to have painful periods each month, or sometimes with PCOS you're having irregular periods, and so when you do have them, they hurt. So let's look at what the causative factors a lot of times are for the pain. When we have irregular menses, where you may not be having one every month but missing 1 month, maybe 2 months, the problem with that is the lining can keep growing, and then when it does get ready to slough, then a lot of times more clotting can happen, and so when that comes through, that can definitely be more uncomfortable and cause pain. And so we're looking at increased lining causing problems with painful periods. The other is cysts that occur on the ovaries or in the ovaries. And so depending on how much that's a part of your PCOS pattern, that can make a difference with how much pain you experience. If both of them are very active, both ovaries, then you may be having more growth in each one, and as bigger the size of the cysts are, the more it can cause discomfort in your abdominal area. And since everything's all kind of smushed together in here, then it can be more impacting with pain each time you have a period if these are growing sizable. One other aspect is just the inflammation that is caused by these issues, or that you may already have an inflammatory process going on in your gastrointestinal tract, just in the abdominal area itself. And so we're looking for what could be causing that and what to do about it. And so that's what we're going to talk about. With PCOS, a couple different things usually come up each time, and that is hormonal imbalances that happen and insulin resistance. So first off, with hormonal imbalance, there's differing symptoms you can have. And so some people with PCOS may have more acne. Some people have more hair loss. Some people have both of those things. You can have more abdominal pain. There's a lot of symptoms that come with PCOS, and not all of them cause huge cysts to occur in the ovaries. And so that's what's helpful about having hormonal testing done. See, okay, is testosterone elevated? Is it prolactin? Is it another hormone that is being impacted? And so the more you understand and work with your specialist or your holistic practitioner, that you can find out what exactly is off and then work on ways to balance it. 'Cause sometimes you get the label of PCOS, but it may be more hormonal imbalance. It could be adrenal imbalance. And so you want to find out exactly what's happening, fix that, so that if you're ready to conceive already, that you're taking care of those things that might be getting in the way. Insulin resistance is where your cells are not able to get the glucose they need inside them for energy. And so you get your food in, it should be getting broken down and assimilated well and working its way throughout your system. But there's a lot of different things with inflammation internally, toxins internally. We live in an environment where there's a lot of environmental as well as the toxins and stuff that are put on our food, the pesticides and more. And so these can all create more inflammation inside our system. And so that's why we have to be more mindful of, well, I'm going to be talking about some of those different things, but purified water, making sure you have a really good filter system. Even when you shower, anything that's getting in your mouth, anything you're using on your skin, all those things you're better off if you're finding things that are organic and that have the least amount of fillers, especially with food, all those fillers and stuff, but actually even in supplements. A lot of times there's fillers that keep you from even being able to break down and absorb what's in the substance that you're actually trying to get. And so sometimes a lot of times why inexpensive vitamins are throwing your money in the trash can. Not in every instance. Sometimes there's good deals that actually are mindful of fillers, but not always. So you have to be a really good label reader. All right, so we want to work on things that will help regulate the hormones and lower the resistance, so we're getting the energy in our system that we need for fertility. All right. There are some things you can do both in diet and lifestyle, and those kind of changes can really help. So what we're looking at is potentially changing over to an anti-inflammatory diet. And I really like the anti-inflammatory Mediterranean diet, but there's a lot of diets out there. If you plug in anti-inflammatory, the most important thing I would say is that it still is including good vegetables, because you need to get enough of those for your nutrients. Even though a lot of the soil is demineralized, you still need those for help with that, with your nutrient level and fiber. And so you're getting those from your vegetables. Fruits are okay as long as you're keeping in mind the ones that are lower glycemic index. And so that's more of your berries are good. So your blackberries, your blueberries, your raspberries, your gooseberries. Strawberries, you have to get organic because they are heavily pesticided. They're very sprayed. And so, but you're thinking of berries because they are low glycemic, because the fiber content's higher. So that helps balance out blood sugar a little bit better. So if you're going to eat fruit, choose berries. Those are, or anything that if you look at what the sugar content is of that fruit, you'll get a better idea. But that's a really good start. The other part of it is getting meats that are not hormoned meats. So that's why you have to be looking around more at organic, grass-fed, no hormones added, those type of things. Although sometimes they say not added, but they're getting it on the farm. So you try and do the best you can with that, because we're looking at hormone imbalance being a problem, and sometimes the things we take in are actually adding to that. Not to scare you, just want to make you aware of these things to be watchful of. So anti-inflammatory diet, so we're cleaning things up, and also the low glycemic meals. So usually that's part of the anti-inflammatory diet. So you're looking to get things, you can still have some yams, a little bit of potato. You can still do some things like that, but you're not making a rice. You're just making them not be the main meal. They're very small side. The majority of the foods you want to get in are the ones that are going to be helpful for proteins, helpful for fiber, good water content, vegetables, and the fruits that we mentioned already. And so those are going to help you. And beans and nuts can be good too. All right. So low glycemic meals. And then also looking at any techniques that help you lower stress. Some people don't know that they're stressed, but if you have a full day that is packed and you feel like you never have time for yourself, that's stress. If your job is feeling kind of thankless a lot of times, that's also stress. If you're watching the news, scary movies, or all kinds of things of that nature, it is actually creating stress, because even though you're watching it happen to other people, we're still feeling it the same way. So just being mindful of what you're watching, what you're taking in, give yourself more fun in your day. Find things that are funny, laugh with friends, do some deep breathing, ground yourself by walking barefoot outside, although it's getting kind of cold right now here, but trying to do things that will make you feel more peaceful. Even walking along the beach if you live near it, or on grass. Those are all ways of grounding and getting some sunshine. All right, so that we're looking at for stress reduction, because the reason why stress can be a factor is it can impact hormone production. If we're constantly in fight or flight mode, where we're always feeling like we're on the go and struggling and having to worry about stuff, that puts our body into cortisol making, which isn't so great for insulin resistance either. And so we don't want to have ourselves in that fight or flight mode. We want to get back into feed and breed. And that is taking ourselves into a more mindful, calming space. So post little notes around areas that you see all the time with good reminders of smile, or take care of yourself, or take a breath. Anything that is a good reminder for stress reduction is something you should have available. Otherwise, we're looking at some different things, like acupuncture can really help with regulating hormones. It can help with your sugar regulation and organ system regulation and stress reduction. And so it can be a really good tool to use when you are working on your fertility. Otherwise, we're looking at herbal medicine and supplements, because they can also help with insulin resistance and hormonal imbalance. So there's definitely ones that are very key for polycystic ovaries. And I'm sure you've heard of myo-inositol and dechiroinositol, but also berberine is a really good one too, because it helps with insulin resistance, it helps your liver work better, it helps your digestive system function better. And then there's some other ones we're going to talk about next time, so I'm not going to burn you with a bunch of them now, but I will just say magnesium is pretty awesome too, but you want to get one that is more absorbable. The oxide and the citrate are really good when you need bowel movements, if you're struggling with constipation, but otherwise getting one that's a magnesium glycinate, which goes to your cells, or getting one that's a taurate that will help your liver, or even getting, magnesium malate's more for the muscles. So I pushed the first two, the magnesium glycinate and the taurate. But there's also, if you have trouble sleeping and your mind needs more calming, threonate. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's a really good one as far as a binder for magnesium. And it's a big requirement for PCOS is getting magnesium in. Our body uses magnesium for hundreds of different processes. So it's not to be taken lightly. All right. And gut health is the other one. So getting something for your microbiome, a good probiotic that has, sometimes if you did have a tendency towards constipation or loose stools, there's some that are better for one or the other. And so you do one, it could actually kind of upset you in the opposite way. I've had people take probiotics before that were already constipated, which made it worse. And so you have to look at what the different strains are in probiotics and make sure you're getting one that fits you right and also doesn't have the negative fillers and stuff that could actually be taking it away from good absorption. I am going to definitely talk more about PCOS next time, so please stay tuned and I'll be back. Take care.